Shout out to all you deep divers. Let's go. Shout out to all you deep divers. Let's go. This is the new 80s, baby. Oh yeah. Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. You're truly appreciated. Peace. Infinite Waters diving deep once again. Shout out to all you deep divers. Let's breathe. That was beautiful. I said let's breathe. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. What are we doing? Raising the vibration. Sprinkling that good ass energy on you right now, deep divers, and it's a beautiful day. I said, let me go live because a lot of people always say, Ralph, go live. And, I always make sure I go live at least once a month, right? Once a month at least, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. And once again, deep divers, shout out to everyone who's joined the Patreon, Ralph Smart. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart, because you're going to find all new exclusive videos there, great content. And once again, deep divers, this is your show, right? So we can talk about it. We can talk about it's happening. The Great Awakening. Someone asked, it feels like more and more people are waking up. What's causing this? And that's a great question. Phenomenal question. Well, I don't know where to start, right? Right? I don't know where to start. So, first and foremost, I hope you're taking care of yourself, deep divers. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves, because a lot is happening in the world and a lot is about to happen. You know, we've got to remind ourselves that with so much happening out there, you want to focus on yourself. You know, I talked about the President Biden, right, with his NATO conference and him kind of messing up. And you have to remind yourself that, like Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage. The whole world is a stage, right? So you're going to see more of that, right? You're going to see more of the theater show. But you really want to focus on yourself, right? So it's happening, the Great Awakening. You know, something which I found crazy. And that's why I always tell you, a Great Awakening is here. There are so many people out there, millions of people who are really waking up, because right now it's really in your face. You know, so many things that are happening are really in your face. In fact, you know, there's a billionaire in India. And, you know, I just saw they had a wedding, and the wedding cost $325 million, right? $325 million just for the wedding. That's why I told you that even though some people are suffering in the world and some people need food, some people need shelter, there are people who are going to splash out $325 million on a wedding. Now, that's an Indian billionaire's son, right, who's doing that. But it just shows you, like, the contrast on the planet. And this is all part of the Great Awakening. A lot of people can see that actually right now, you really want to wake up to what's going on. And we're in a time right now where a lot of people are going to get a wake-up call. You know, so many people right now are going through the whole awakening. It's about time. And the reason why so many people are waking up simultaneously is because the time has come. The time has come for this monumental shift that's happening. I'm someone who is really just an OG in the game. But the cat down the road and I are along for the show. We're here because we know the time has come. And, you know, a few years back, things were in a greater swing. Things were there was more momentum. But now things have kind of shifted because now a lot of people who are waking you up, they're falling back. They're in the Caribbean somewhere. They're living their best life. And this is why I told you, as time goes on, there'll be less and less people who are going to be helping with the awakening of humanity. Simply because they've already come. And that's why I told you, anyone who comes, make sure you give them thanks. Because once again, so much is in store for humanity. So many people don't realize there's a big battle happening. A big battle happening. So you have to remind yourself, you know, in these days and times, you really want to protect your energy. You really want to remind yourself that a lot is coming. A lot is in the pipeline. And also, you want to remind yourself, you know, who am I focusing on? Who am I focusing on? Am I focusing on what's going on out there? Or am I focusing on what's going on in here? You know, I don't talk about politics. When I did the Biden video, I only do one or two of those. One or two of those at, you know, maximum. But I always remind you that you don't even want to focus on that because a lot of that's a distraction. A lot of that is a distraction. And, you know, you have to remind yourself that, you know, that's why I don't really talk about a lot of celebrities even, because the grand awakening is about realizing you are the celebrity, right? And this is why so many people are waking up on the planet. Many people are realizing they are the celebrity. They are the superstar. A lot is happening energetically on the planet. And you have to really remind yourself that it's a time for healing. It's a time for introspection. A lot of people's shadow sides are coming out. You probably noticed. Because right now, a lot of people have to heal. A lot of people have to cleanse their energy. And you're going to see more and more people reveal who they truly are. You know, a lot of people have said, okay, I'm this, I'm that. And now is a time where you're really going to see people's true colors. You're going to see who they really are. And this is what is happening right now. It's a purging. Absolutely. It's a purging that's happening. And, you know, it's also a time for transformation. It's also a time for transformation because right now, a lot of people are transforming into something amazing. You know, we've got to remind ourselves that there's a lot of bad news around the place. And let me just say a thank you to everyone who's supporting the show, because like I say, Deep Divers, it's gratitude that always wins. I only do these live streams to read your comments and check your messages. So I always say, contribute to the show. This is your show. So you got a question? Do what Dimensional Veil did. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. Dimensional Veil, you are most definitely appreciated. Hi, Ralph. Feeling grateful to catch you live as I am approaching nature and sending high frequencies to you and all the deep divers. How can we advance in the awakening to higher dimensions? Fantastic question. That's a fantastic question. And this is what I'm talking about, deep divers. You see, this is how you can really get the most out of these shows. Leave a question. Put a question in the comment section. You know, I'm talking about a lot of different things, and that's a phenomenal question. So how can we advance in the awakening to higher dimensions? Well, you got to remind yourself that there's levels upon levels. And one of the greatest ways to advance in the awakening to higher dimensions is to really challenge yourself. You know, every single day we got a choice. We can choose to kind of go to bed, or we can choose to stay awake. We can choose to really say, you know, I'm finished, or we can choose to say, I'm just getting started. Many people right now on the planet are realizing that there are levels to this. And we want to climb to the next level. For anything that we're doing, we're going to have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone. When we talk about really advancing to higher dimensions, you got to be incredibly brave, because you see, it's so easy. It's so easy to stay at the bottom. That's where the masses live. It's so easy to stay where everyone else stays. It's so easy to do what everyone else is doing, right? But you'll only be at a low frequency and a low vibration. And that's the reason why elevation requires separation. Elevation requires separation. Elevation requires separation. This is how you advance to a higher dimension. You're going to have to realize elevation requires separation. In fact, there are so many people right now who are in a crowd who are holding them back. There are so many people who are in a crowd, and that's the reason why they don't even know who they really are. And the people who are really raising the frequency, going to that next level, are brave enough to go into the wilderness. They're brave enough to spend time with themselves. They're brave enough to not be afraid to find out who they really are. right? So that's how you really advance. There's so many pressures from family, strangers, relatives. People want to mold you. They want to mold you into something that you're not. And that's the reason why you're going to have to be incredibly strong. Dimensional Veil, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Miss Mysteriously Magical, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause and gratitude. Okay, Miss Mysteriously Magical. I like that name. Did you hear? An assassination attempt on Trump was just had. They got his face. Okay, so that's the breaking news, right? Let me just check that out because this is something that we can talk about because let's just see. Right, okay. So I just saw that news just now. And, with all of these things, like I told you, all of these things are something that you want to pay attention to. Because you see, Trump has become almost like a mythical figure. And a lot of people say, not in God we trust, in Trump we trust, right? And he's become a target. But I always tell you that you also want to focus on yourself. With everything happening in the world, you want to remind yourself, we are the ones we're waiting for. We are the ones we've always been waiting for. And what happens when you externalize your power? You're looking for someone to come and save you. You're looking for Joe Biden to come and save you. You're looking for Donald Trump to come and save you. When you got to remind yourself, you have to save yourself. And, politics is, it's a dirty game. Look what happened to JFK, right? And that's the reason why you really want to be aware that the whole world is a stage. The whole world is a stage. And that's the reason why you want to be focusing on yourself, because once again, all of that is a distraction. Twin Flame Propel 1111, you're most definitely appreciated. Quantum Dynamic, thank you so much. Thank you, Ralph. There is some problem with YouTube Super Chat, but it doesn't stop me to message you. Thank you, Ralph, for everything. Thank you for always being there. My question is your intuitive message that you have for me. Quantum Dynamic 8, let me tell you this, because you're always supporting the show. And let me give you a round of applause. So, Quantum Dynamic 8, let me just tell you this, keep on creating, because you have a lot to share with the world. You have tremendous talent, and you have to now see right now, it's your time to shine. It's your time to step up. It's your time to move into that position that you came here to be in. That's that intuitive message I have for you. Don't allow fear to get in the way of any choice that you want to make today. Go to the next level. You are definitely appreciated. Happy with self. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. I appreciate that. So, when we talk about the dangers of politics, the reason why politics is so dangerous is because it's based on an illusion. That's the reason why politics is so dangerous, because it separates people. Democrat, Republican. And like I said, with the Great Awakening, and it's happening, more and more people are realizing we have to vote for ourselves. We have to choose ourselves. We have to stop externalizing our power. Because once again, separation has caused all the chaos on the planet. Separation has caused all the wars on the planet. Look what just happened in Gaza, right? Massive bombs were just dropped in humanitarian zones. They're being attacked. So the world is in a big state of chaos. And that's because of ego, greed. Like I told you, there was a wedding by Ambani, this Indian billionaire. He invited all the celebrities, Kim Kardashian, all of these people. Rihanna performed for allegedly $5 million. Justin Bieber performed. And that wedding cost $325 million. $325 million for a wedding, 3-day ceremony. So this will show you that some people aren't even concerned about other people. They're only concerned about their own affairs. When you can spend $325 million on a wedding in India, and if you've ever been to India, you realize that the rich and the poor live side by side, and this shows you how some people are still apathetic. They don't really see apart from their own affairs. That's the only thing they see, and pleasing themselves. Now, once again, you can have whatever wedding you want, but when you spend $325 million, 250 million pounds on a wedding, it shows you some people, when it comes to spending for themselves, they'll do it. But when it comes to helping other people, they don't care. And this is why so many people, millions of people, are becoming aware of this. They're realizing, oh my gosh, there is a big battle happening. And I told you, you have to really stay in tune. You have to stay in balance, and you have to focus on yourself. Shout out to everyone who's here. Happy with self, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause. And everyone in the chat, make sure you hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video, deep divers. And if you've got a question, if there's something you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Happy with self. Okay. You are appreciated. How can I get into and stay in a high vibration to attract and manifest good things into my life? What exactly is being or staying in a high vibration for good things to happen for me? That's a great question. Fantastic question. Let me give you a Don DeMarco just for that question. Let me give you a perfect just for that question.
Perfect.
Perfect. How can I get into and stay in a high vibration to attract and manifest good things into my life? What exactly is being or staying in a high vibration for good things to happen for me? That's a great question. Well, like I told you, we have to remind ourselves that you want to be in a state of joy, naturally, organically. You also want to remind yourself every single day that we don't want to tune into low frequency information. We don't want to tune into low frequency vibrations. We want to become mindful of what we're tuning into. I told you, there's a reason why there's always bad news waiting for you. And what exactly is being or staying in a high vibration for good things to happen for you is to be selective with the information that you consume. When I realized that whatever you consume will consume you, slow motion this side, everything changes. Whatever you consume will consume you. And this is what we have to pay attention to. Whatever we consume will consume us. And, you have to become mindful as well that being in a high vibration is having a heart as light as a feather. Having a heart as light as a feather. Also, not allowing anyone to dim your light. There are so many people who are afraid of your greatness. They're afraid of you really going to the next level. You got haters in your life. You got people who are naysayers in your life. You got even your own friends and family who don't want to see you win. They always want you to do better. They always want you to do good, but just not better than them, right? They always want you to do good, but just not better than them. So you have to remind yourself that stop being intimidated by other people and stop allowing and asking for other people's permission to be great. Stop allowing other people to define who you are, who you can be, where you can go, because you got to know thyself, you got to trust yourself, and you got to elevate. One other thing you can do to really stay in a high vibration, listen to great music every single day, and also have what I call the equalizer. For every piece of bad news that you consume, make sure you consume something that's positive. Because once again, take a look at the news, right? The news is always filled with horror stories, murders, violence, all of these things. The more you tune into that, the more you become that. And that's the reason why you have to become mindful. If you take a look at the three monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's a metaphor that you have to protect your energy, especially in these days and times. I told you, a lot is happening right now on the planet. What did I tell you? That there was a film called Civil War. Okay? Donald Trump, there was just an attempted assassination on his life, right? All of these things are about you focusing on a lower frequency, a lower vibration. And you have to rise above all of that. And like I told you, we're in a time right now where you want to choose yourself. You want to vote for yourself. You don't want to get caught up in the division, the separation, which the world is becoming. Biden or Trump, Democrat, Republican, all of these are illusions. When you vote for yourself, everything is going to keep you in a high frequency, a high vibration. When you choose love over fear, everything is going to be great. Just think how much time the media spend on bad news stories. And therefore, even when you're reading the news, you have to be selective with what you consume and for how long you consume it. Because the more you tune into that low frequency, that's exactly what you become. And that's the reason why you got to remind yourself to replace something bad with something good, something negative with something positive, and remind yourself that it's up to you to surround yourself with people who make you feel like sunlight. This is how you keep your high vibration for good things to happen to you. Shout out to you. That's a phenomenal question. Deep diver, shout out to everyone who's here. And, like I say, the Great Awakening is here. And, even with Donald Trump, just allegedly being attacked, you want to remind yourself that politics is a very dirty game. And especially US politics, because it conjures up war, civil war. It conjures up emotions of division. And this is the reason why it's a trap. Because once again, when you make someone a messiah, you externalize your power. And people are crazy, where people will say, okay, let me just do something. And that's the reason why you don't want to worship anybody except the universal creator. You don't want to bow down to any man or woman or cat down the road except the universal creator, because people worship Trump like he's God. And he's just a normal human being. You have to realize these people are just human beings. They're not gods. And what's happened in the world is that people worship these people. They worship Donald Trump. They worship Biden. And you have to focus on yourself, because this is your life. You got to stop living vicariously through other people. A great awakening is here. It's happening. It feels like more and more people are waking up. What's causing this? Because people are now waking up to see, to say, oh my gosh, with so much happening, all of the issues in the world could be fixed. It's time to find out who you are, who you want to be, and where you want to go, right? Let me say a special shout out to Carly, JNS, NACT University. You are most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause. Okay, so the question coming in: do y'all think that attempted Trump takeout is staged? That's a great question. Well, first and foremost, you have to question everything. You have to question everything, and at the same time, you have to realize that people are crazy. So it wouldn't surprise me if someone just did that because they wanted attention. It also wouldn't surprise me if it was staged. Once again, not everything is staged. Some things actually do happen. But you have to also have critical thinking that people know what happened to JFK. JFK was loved by the American people. But the problem with JFK is that JFK, he wanted to have peace. And he was really pissing off the military-industrial complex and the CIA and all of these people. They didn't like him. They wanted to get rid of him because he kind of got rid of a lot of jobs in the CIA and all of these things. And you realize that with JFK, he wasn't running anything. There was another government behind him. So all of this shows you that even with Biden and Trump, these people don't have the power that you think. There are other people who are even more powerful than those people. And those people are just mouthpieces. But there's a whole nother deep state, whole nother government, which you won't see. And that's the reason why if they want you out of there, they'll get you out of there. So not everything is staged, but also you have to have critical thinking. It's very difficult for people to know what actually happened because once again, when Biden called Zelensky Putin, right? Biden was in the NATO press conference and said, I want to welcome Ukraine President Putin or something like that, right? So for me, when I heard it again, that seemed like it was staged. I'm like, there's no way he could mess up that. So some things are staged, some things aren't staged. But once again, you want to really focus on yourself. You see, part of the Great Awakening is to realize that they got you looking outside of yourself. Every single day, you're waking up, wondering about celebrities, wondering about politicians, and you're forgetting about your own life. What direction is your own life going in? What do you want to manifest for yourself, for your family? If you're always externalizing your power, you're always going to be powerless. And that's what's happened to a lot of people on the planet. Their only entertainment is to focus on a politician, focus on a celebrity out there. And that's all that brings the meaning. And we have to stop that because if something happens to them, it's going to affect you. Because you see, people, they become tethered to these people they don't even know. They've never even met. They haven't even spoken to. And even in the world of politics, I told you, they've never told you how to eat right. They've never told you how to meditate. They've never told you how to connect with nature. Yet, you're giving them your attention. That was a slow motion. Happy with self, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. You are most definitely appreciated. Okay, happy with self. Do you believe in and follow Billy Carson's teachings? Do you resonate with what Billy Carson has been saying for many years now? We are like a hard drive receiving information. Can you break down some of his teachings? I've had Billy Carson on the show a few times on Infinite Waters. And for me, he's a phenomenal brother who has tremendous insight, especially on ancient civilizations, the Emerald Tablets. He has tremendous wisdom, knowledge on that, and a lot of what he says definitely resonates. You know, what I like about Billy Carson is that he's someone who's able to think outside of the box. You know, so many people have been kept in a box, and when you have people like Billy who are coming out and really giving alternative perspectives, right? Alternative perspectives, it's always refreshing to see, because you got to remind yourself most of your history is wrong. Even most of what we know about the world is not what it is. So when you have people who are questioning, that always gets my support. Phenomenal question. You're most definitely appreciated. TJ Arrington, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Round of applause for you. Thank you. In this shift we are all going and growing through, have you personally had mystical experiences in time travel or telekinesis? Absolutely. You know, I realized that there are levels to this and there are dimensions to this, and we are time traveling multi-dimensional beings. When you go to sleep every single night, you're time traveling to a different space and time. And that's the reason why the ancients knew that when you go to bed, when you're in the dream state, you're also alive in a whole nother reality. And that's what time travel is all about, realizing that your spirit is traveling through time and space. Every night, you are time traveling. That's why when you wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, where was I? You took a wild trip with a cat down the road. Right? Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Let me know what's on your mind. Hit that like button, share the video. Let's talk about it. And shout out to everyone who's here. Infinite Light Wizardry, shout out to you. Ralph, some mega prana. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Some mega prana harvesting going on by these guys. Appreciate the vibes. Shout out to you. Infinite Light Wizardry, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. So, like I say, you know, when I started this live stream, you know, I told you that it's happening. And when I said it's happening, during the show, there was a breaking news that Donald Trump, there was an attempted assassination. So that's why I told you everything I'm talking about, I'm giving you clues to everything that's unfolding right now. And this ties into the Great Awakening. I told you this is not the time to fall asleep because the pot is cooking. And a lot of things are about to happen. And we've got to remind ourselves that, you know, this is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to be empowered. You know, most people now on the planet are starting to question. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to have their own epiphany moment, right? And in this time, right, you know, in this time, you have to realize that so many things are being played out. Okay, someone is saying Apple just put out that Trump is safe. Okay, so right, when we talk about these things, we have to get the facts as well, because once again, you have to realize that when these things happen, if it was an attempted assassination, he's okay. But you see, what will happen is that they could say, well, he was injured, but he's okay. So what happens? He can get a sympathy vote. So, like I told you, that you have to realize that with so many things going on, you know, protect your energy, focus on yourself, because things are reaching a boiling point. You know, I told you that once upon a time, politics wasn't in people's faces. And the reason why is because people knew how to lead themselves. They had They were their own leader. They realized that we are the ones we're waiting for. You know, humanity has become so weak that it's externalized its power. It's externalized its power to Biden, to Trump, all of these people. And no one is coming to save you but yourself. And this is the reason why the whole world is a stage. The whole world is a stage. And, you know, we want to once again remind ourselves that someone is saying, sadly, someone passed in the crowd. Well, we've got to remind ourselves that that's terrible. You know, we send condolences to anyone who was injured in that event. But we have to also remind ourselves that there are some people who are crazy out there. There are some people who are really crazy out there. And this is the reason why when you're dealing with the mob mentality, when you're dealing with the mass mentality, you're always going to have bad actors. You're always going to have people who become obsessed, they take it too far. And this is the reason why even certain celebrities, they can't even leave their house. They can't even go anywhere. Because, you know, there's crazy people out there. And this is the reason why, you know, when we're talking about the energy on the planet has become low vibrational for a lot of people. And this is the reason why every single day, you want to make sure you're not a part of that circus show. You want to make sure you're not a part of that place where people merely exist. Because right now, it's time to wake up. Shout out to everyone who's here. Deep divers, smash that like button, share the video. Smash that like button, share the video. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what's happening. Callie, shout out to you. They're saying the shooter is black. They were multiple shooters, though. One is dead and the other is in custody. Okay. Shout out to you. And, you know, we've got to remind ourselves every single day that there's a lot of messed up people out there. But this is what happens whenever you have a separation. People will always take it too far. Whenever you have this war between Biden and Trump, there are people who are going to go crazy. There are people who hate Trump. There are people who love Trump. There are people who hate Biden. There are people who love Biden. So you have to study history to realize that no politician should be speaking in front of a crowd without security. They should be, you know, learning from JFK. I'll be very surprised if, you know, Trump went there without knowing this, because Trump is the most controversial figure right now, probably in the world. And he's a polarizing figure. So it's no wonder why he's going to attract people who are going to do crazy things. So certain politicians, even in Mexico, a woman won the election, but before, on the run up, there were a lot of Mexican politicians who were assassinated. A lot of Mexican politicians who were taken out because by the cartel, by different parties. So politics has always been very dangerous because, you see, people will take matters into their own hands. Just look what happened to JFK. We don't know if it was that guy, Oswald or whatever. We don't know if it was him or someone else. No one will ever know. But this is the reason why you have to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself because there's a lot of crazy people out there. A lot of people who have nothing to lose. And this is the reason why even people like Drake, they roll like 50 people around them when they can't even leave their house. And the reason why is because there's a lot of people who can go crazy. When Kendrick did the song Not Like Us, Drake's shop, OVO store, was someone put graffiti on the wall and all of these things, so it can be taken too far. What happens in these situations is that when two people go to war, other people get involved. And Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. Gandhi was assassinated, right? So it's a thing where Martin Luther King was assassinated, right? So these were people who were revolutionaries, right? Martin Luther King and all of these people. But they were in a time where, they were becoming too powerful. And someone like a Donald Trump has become way too powerful where, there are so many people who, like I said, predictive programming, right, is where they tell you something before it actually happens. And there was a film called Civil War, which was telling you about that's what could break out in America. And that's the reason why, like I said, we're in a time right now where it's bigger than even politics. It's about your life. It's about you realizing that you're in a spiritual warfare. You're in a game. You're in a big illusion where it's very hard to discern between the real and the fake. And this is the reason why you want to stop externalizing your power. Because if you don't, you're always going to feel bad when something happens outside of yourself. And that's why a lot of people, they're tethered to people like Donald Trump. They're tethered to people like Biden because that's the only reality they have. They have no life without them, right? Deep divers, smash that like button, share the video. Smash that like button, share the video. Juelia77 in the house. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. You are appreciated. Juelia77. Hey Ralph, I appreciate your channel. What comes after the shadow work? Woo! I like that. I like that. And this is why I say that was a powerful question. Deep divers always get your question in so we can talk about it. What comes after the shadow work? Well, we've got to remind ourselves that we often like to paint ourselves with elaborate colors and feel that we are holier than thou, when in actuality, sometimes the problem is us. Sometimes we've got to take a look at ourselves, and this is what shadow work is all about. It's all about taking a look at yourself. It's all about realizing, actually, I got some skeletons in my closet. Actually, I got some inner work to do. Actually, I got some inner healing to do. Actually, I got to find out about who I really am, not just who I want to be, but who I really am. And after the shadow work comes integration, comes what we call synthesis. After you do the shadow work, you now embrace the light and dark aspects of yourself. You know, a lot of the world is afraid to do the shadow work. And you can see this even on social media. A lot of people only show you the highlights of their life. They only show you things going great. People are taking selfies like, yeah, I made it, right? People want to show you on TikTok something funny or something entertaining, but they don't want to show you about their inner process. They don't want to show you about their hard times, what they're going through. And we've got to remind ourselves that we have to do the inner work. Because once we can do that, we can find a greater acceptance in who we really are. Right? We can find a greater self-love, a greater self-acceptance every single day. Once we can really do that, right? So that's what comes after the shadow work. You start living your best life. You start really not being afraid. And that's one of the biggest things. Thank you so much, Juelia77 in the house. So deep divers is happening. Like I told you. It's like I got a crystal ball or something. I'm saying it's happening. And there was just an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Because I told you, we're in a day and time where you want to keep one eye open and realize that actually shit is about to hit the fan. The reason why is because civilization is crumbling as you know it. People have no values. People have no morals. Oh, what would you do for a Klondike bar? People are going to do anything. Right? And this is what's going on in the world, where a lot of people are going to do anything and everything just for their 15 seconds of fame. And, you know, there's a great contrast which is happening right now on the planet, which involves people really awakening, finding out who they really are. People really realizing they are stars. And it's a beautiful feeling when you realize actually you are the star. You don't have to worship Kim Kardashian. You are the star, right? And this is what the awakening involves. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. It's about realizing actually you are royalty, right? Because so many times they show you who is royal and they show you who is the king and who is the queen. And now you're starting to sit on the throne yourself. And this is a very powerful way to live. What's happened as well, you know, I'm taking a look at what's going on in the content creation space. And I see that, let me first say a big shout out to Studio H in the house. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. Studio Hate, shout out to you. How can we speed up the process of overcoming separation and hate in the world? Is it about focusing on love or actively doing something about the problem? That's a great question. Once again, how can we speed up the process of overcoming separation and hate in the world? Is it about focusing on love or actively doing something about the problem? Well, you see, there's always going to be separation and hate when you claim to be something. For example, if I claim to be Democrat and someone else is Republican, there's going to be a war. If you're going to fight for your flag, for your country, and I'm going to fight for my country, there's always going to be separation and hate. And this is the reason why we have to start losing the labels. That's what's helped me along my journey. Losing the labels that society has placed upon you. It's very difficult to do because you've been programmed to do what society has told you to do. You know, more people have been killed in the name of organized religion than all wars combined. My God is better than your God. My religion is better than your religion. My country is better than your country. So you have to free yourself of all of that. And this is how you can really end all of that and move forward. It is about focusing on love, but a lot of people don't know what love is, right? And this is what we have to remind ourselves of every single day, right? So, you know, that's a great question. Studio Hate, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. So, the Great Awakening is here. It's happening, deep divers. Like I said, it's happening. Because, you see, we're in a time right now where a lot is happening. A lot is happening, you know. And it's not an accident or a coincidence that I say it's happening. And then there's an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, right? Because once again, I'm telling you that it's all happening right now. And what you're going to start to see is more chaos. You're going to start to see more problems happen. The reason why is because Babylon is falling. The reason why is because civilization is crumbling as you know it. The reason why is because right now, something is coming to an end and there's going to be a lot of chaos. However, if you've been doing the work, if you've been raising your frequency and vibration, great things will come into your life. And you see, you know, people are still caught up in a show. Are you not entertained? People don't realize that it's still Rome. You know, Gladiator 2 is coming out, right? Denzel Washington inside of that and all of these things. You got to remind yourself that in the Gladiator, they said, are you not entertained? We're still living in Rome. Nothing has changed. It's still Rome. And it's still a gladiator arena. And you see in ancient Rome, in the Colosseum, when the gladiators would fight, it was all about putting on a show. It was all about entertaining the masses. Because that's how you control people. You got to keep them fast asleep. You got to give them bread and circuses. So nothing has changed. This is still Rome. And there's going to be more entertainment for you. Are you not entertained? So we're in a time right now where we got to focus on ourselves, most importantly. Because, you know, a lot more is coming. You know, a lot more is happening. A lot more is coming. But you have to ask yourself, you know, people out there, even people, Donald Trump, Biden, have they ever showed you how to meditate? Have they ever showed you how to connect with yourself? Have they ever showed you how to become a better version of yourself? Any leader for that matter, Have they showed you how to connect? And that's what you should always ask yourself. Deep divers, smash that like button, share the video. Smash that like button, share the video. And let me say a big shout out to HV. In the house, you are appreciated. HV, shout out to you. Thanks for going live, Ralph. Sending lots of love, peace, and healing to everyone. One love, let's raise the frequency. Absolutely. Let's raise the love frequency. Let's raise the love frequency. That's what we have to do right now. You know, we're in a time right now where people are losing a part of themselves because they're becoming soulless. And this is a very dangerous time on the planet. The reason why is because a lot of people are losing what it means to be human. And with the Great Awakening, you've got to hold on to what it means to be human, because that's your superpower. You've got to remind yourself that there's a whole agenda, a whole program to dumb people down on the planet. There was a streamer, I Show Speed. You know, I keep seeing this guy popping up around the place, and I'm not a hater. I say, hey, go and get your bread. Do what you got to do. But I'm realizing, okay, you know, when I watch his videos, and I'm like, okay, it's entertainment, right? But you don't get put there and have that influence by accident. You're chosen, right? And you have to be aware that a lot of the youth are being misled, misguided by people who have been planted there, what we call an industry plant. And this is what's leading them to forget about who they really are. So you have to remind yourself that a lot is happening that people don't even know. Right? A lot is happening people don't even know about. And like I told you, the awakening, no, definitely. I mean, he's probably a great guy deep down, but I'm saying that it's not about if people are good or not. It's about, we want to push the awakening on that level, right? And you have to remind yourself there's gatekeepers that don't want the awakening to go to that level. So you got to remind yourself that I was a glitch in the matrix when I first came out. You know, I was able to hack the algorithms with a cat down the road. Right? And that's what we have to challenge ourselves to do, because once again, this is what the awakening is all about. It's about saying, okay, let me outsmart the matrix, let me outsmart the system, and let me get this into the mainstream, right? So once again, you know, shout out to everyone who's creating whatever they create, but always remind yourself, can I put in a message? Can I put a message in there? Right? And that's what even what Kendrick Lamar did to Drake, right? When he was saying, wait, let me put you on game, right? So he even did that in a diss song. So at any opportunity, you want to remind yourself that you can put in a message. You know, it's not about you being a saint, but it's about you saying, okay, you have to realize that there's a force that wants to dumb down everyone on the planet. And you have to elevate above that, because it's your children who are going to suffer ultimately, right? Let's raise the love frequency. We got to do that, right? We got to raise the love frequency. You know, one of the biggest things we have to remind ourselves of is that You see, a lot of people, and I'll do a whole video on the inorganic ones, but a lot of people don't realize that people who are even in power, who you think are in power, have no power at all. They have no power at all, right? They're just puppets. And a lot of the people who are really even controlling America is a corporation. A lot of people who are really controlling it, you don't even know their names. You don't even see them. But these are the ones who can really pull strings. The politicians are just the actors on the stage, but they don't make the final decision, right? And that's the reason why, when you see Biden, calling Zelensky Putin, you realize, okay, someone is making his decisions for him. So you realize that actually, okay, there's levels even in office. And that's the reason why with JFK, they got him out of there, because they said, okay, this is a problem. When the shadow government sees you as a problem, they want you out of there. And JFK was a good guy for the American people, but he wanted peace, which was a no-no. He wanted to stop, the nuclear war with Cuba and all of these things, and he wanted just to stop the military industrial complex and all of these things. And they didn't want to hear that, because you see, war is big business. You need war to make money. So when they're sending billions to Ukraine, it's because, war is big money. But once again, you have to remind yourself that we're in a time right now where a lot of people are unstable. A lot of people are mentally ill. A lot of people need help. And this is the reason why in these days and times, you really want to protect your energy. Because it's not just about Donald Trump. It's about yourself to say, okay, am I protecting my energy from other people who may not have my best interests at hand? That's what you should also be focusing on, right? Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video, and shout out to all of you. Valerie, Umar, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. Thank you for always diving deep. That's what I'm here to do. Because like I say, we're in a time right now where you want to be awake and aware, because so many things are happening so fast, and you have to really remind yourself that we're also in a beautiful time. Don't get it twisted. Even though it seems like things are terrible on the planet, actually things are amazing, because people are now waking up. People are now finding out who they really are, right? You got to remind yourself that you want to stop waiting for things to happen before you talk about something. Let me repeat that. You want to stop waiting for things to happen before you talk about something. You see, before I started this stream, the news wasn't in that there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I had something to say. With the assassination attempt, we can talk about it, but I didn't start off talking about that because I had a message, right? So we want to, with everything happening, we don't just want to react. We want to also have something, we also want to have something that we've got to share, right? Because that's how we can really change this whole game. But we're in a powerful time right now. We're in a powerful time, and like I say, the Great Awakening is here, and we've got to remind ourselves as well that things are speeding up on the planet. Even when I first started creating, it was uploading. You can upload and that's it. Now you got to stream. So we got to remind ourselves things are moving from uploading to streaming. Soon everything is going to be streamed. There's going to be no such thing as uploading. Everything is going to be live. Go. Let's go, right? So everything is fast. People aren't even having time to digest information before another piece of information comes out. Sometimes people say something and then what happens? A minute later, the story changes. And that's the reason why you don't want to just jump on the bandwagon. You want to get the facts, do your own research first, because when you say something in the next 5 minutes, something could change. So people are continuously having to edit themselves because things are changing so fast. Let me say a big shout out to Divine Feminine Dynasty. Shout out to you. 375 million for a wedding means nothing. I've met poodles that live like billionaires. The real stars are here to give. Much respect and gratitude always. Hey, shout out to you. Divine Feminine Dynasty, you are appreciated. Well, that was another story, deep divers, that there's a billionaire in India, Ambani, who his son got married, very lavish wedding in Mumbai, India. He invited a lot of celebrities, Kim Kardashian, all of these people, Tony Blair, heads of state, and it cost $375 million. 250 million pounds just for a wedding of 3 days. Now, once again, people can do whatever they want with their money, but I'm just showing you that to some people, money is nothing, right? It's just it's about what they want to do, right? In India, where you have so many people who are starving, who are homeless, but there's such a contrast. There's people who are spending $375 million on a wedding. Just imagine what that money could have been used for something positive, but they don't care, right? So this is what you're dealing with. It's not me judging it. It's about me saying, okay, it is what it is, but you have to be awake and aware that some people don't care. They have to satisfy their wants and their needs. And this is why the world is the way it is, right? So it's a wake-up call, really. Like I told you, deep divers, when I say things, it means something. Because I said, okay, let me do a live stream. It's happening, right? And as I'm starting the stream, that news came in that there was this attempted assassination on Trump. And, that's big news because to a lot of people, he's like a messiah. He's like a God figure, right? But I told you that it's about to get crazy in terms of just the overall state of America and the whole world, because so many people don't realize that human beings are changing. Human beings are changing. And, people shouldn't be surprised that there's mad people out there who would want to do something like that. Because once again, there was a time when even people in office or politicians or leaders or whoever it was in charge, they took a backseat. They were more noble. Now these people are like celebrities. You know, people, they're even more attention hungry than other people. So what's happened is that people build fantasies, and you can have people who are at the rally who might have mental illnesses and any kind of thing, right? Who do something stupid, right? So, you know, you have to remind yourself that many of these people have created an environment, a breeding ground, where they're going to attract a lot of people who may be very crazy, right? So you got to remind yourself that, you know, a lot of the politicians, and especially Biden and Trump, these people are super famous. These people, they're the talk of the cities all over America. So you are going to get people who are going to try and assassinate them. You're going to get people who are going to do crazy things because, once again, people are crazy. You have a lot of people who are unstable, but ultimately you want to focus on yourself to remind yourself that, hey, you've got to stop externalizing your power, and you've got to start taking back your power. Because this is what the Great Awakening is about. It is happening. You know, we've got to remind ourselves that, you know, this is not the time just to fall asleep. HV, shout out to you. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. Ralph for president, shout out to you. You are most definitely appreciated. You know, for me, it's not about being president. It's about just being who I am. You know, the reason why you have a need for presidents is because a lot of people are disconnected. You know, there's something that Krishnamurti wrote. Okay. To bring about a radical change in the world, we need a tremendous revolution, not a revolution of merely social nature, of a mere social nature, but a fundamental transformation in ourselves, right? So that's huge, right? Once again, to bring about a radical change in the world, we need a tremendous revolution, not a revolution of a merely social nature, but a fundamental transformation in ourselves, right? And this is the only way around it, you know. A fundamental transformation in ourselves. You know, people are waiting for things to change. They're not going to change at all on the outside. They will never change on the outside. You know, if you're waiting for the outside to change, you're going to be waiting for a mighty long time. You're going to be waiting for a very, very long time, right? So remind yourself that nothing is going to change, you know. Out there, it's only going to get worse. But in here, it can change immensely. And that's how the world is changed. You know, Rumi wrote, yesterday, I thought I was wise. I wanted to change the world. Now I am truly wise because I want to change myself, right? Let me shout out to Renegade Drake in the house. You're most definitely appreciated. Okay, Renegade Drake. Fluoride free, Moldavite on, third eye open, Ralph, smart connection. Slow motion this side. I like that. I like that. That's beautiful. Fluoride free, Moldavite on, third eye open, Ralph, smart connection. And you see, we're in a time right now where people's eyes are starting to open. And this is definitely a time for it. People's eyes are starting to open. They're starting to wake up because we're in a very testing time for humanity. A lot of people don't realize that human beings are slowly being wiped out. And the reason why is because AI is taking over. AI is coming. And people don't even realize it. And soon there might be AI presidents. Right? Because think about it, if you have an AI president, they can't get shot in a rally. RoboCop could not get shot. So when you remind yourself in San Francisco, they have robot dogs. They've got dogs who are going into houses and things of people fugitives and all of these people who might have illegal things going on. They send in robot dogs. So they've got already RoboCops. So now they're not going to be police officers. They're going to be RoboCops. And these cops, you can shoot them. They'll be fine. Because once again, everything can be repaired. That's what the Terminator was trying to show you, right? In the Terminator, when the guy got shot, his body just healed itself. This is where they're moving. And it's happening because a lot of people are so in love with their phone, they don't even care about other people, right? So, we have to really focus on what's happening, Quantum Dynamic 8 in the house, shout out to you. Just want to know you more as a tribe member, your favorite comfort food, your favorite book, your current favorite thing about Ascension. Hey, I appreciate you. You are appreciated. Okay, Quantum Dynamic 8. Just want to know you more as a tribe member. I appreciate that. Just want to know you more as a tribe member. Your favorite comfort food. It will have to be favorite comfort food. I like a lot of I like dates. I love dates and walnuts, right? Your favorite book, apart from Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, great book. Your current favorite thing about Ascension Journey, really realizing that everything is changing constantly. Everything is in a state of ebb and flow. And, it's about me realizing that time will always reveal everything. And, trust the process and also realize people are on a different journey. And that's the reason why some people are like this one day, then they change the next day. And you have to realize that people will change around you, but you have to remember who you really are, right? Great. Quantum Dynamic 8, you are appreciated. You're most definitely appreciated. So, like I told you, we're in a time right now where the Great Awakening is here. It is happening. It is happening because you see, one of the biggest things we have to remind ourselves of is that we have to be very careful that we don't lose our voice, and I'll do a whole video on Donald Trump after this show, and I'll give you a whole nother insight. But on this stream, we've talked about different things. And that's what we have to do. We don't always want to talk about what's happening out there. We want to talk about the life we're creating for ourselves because that's how we can become game changers, right? When we're not just reacting, but we're actually leaving our imprint on everything, that's when great things happen. So it is happening. Like I told you, people right now are starting to wake up. Millions of people all around the world are going through something epic. So many people are transforming for the better. So many people are changing for the better. So many people are coming into their true power like never before. And the reason why is because the illusion is coming to an end. The reason why is because the game is up. The gig is up. Time is up. And people are starting to realize this. And, you want to stay focused out here. You want to stay focused. You want to also keep raising the frequency. Nothing is more important than that. Nothing is more important than that. But it just shows me that, okay, now I'm going live. That's important because something is happening in the world that we have to pay attention to at every moment, in every second, right? So, we're in a powerful time, and for me, I'm truly grateful I'm a part of this monumental, great awakening that's happening right now. It's a beautiful time. And, I'll be doing more live streams. I'll be talking more to you in live time because a lot is happening. It's happening, right? So, stay awake and aware, deep divers, right? Stay awake and aware because at any time I could go live. And, let's remind ourselves that we have to elevate. We have to also tune into something that's positive, because that's the only hope. We can't always just talk about the doom and the gloom, even though it's a very messy time on the planet. Sometimes we have to talk about it, but we also have to talk about something else. That's why I do these live streams. And, there's so much to talk about. So much to talk about, right? Valerie Uma, you are most definitely appreciated. You are most definitely appreciated. So, deep divers, let me say a big thank you to everyone. Studio H, Quantum Dynamic 8, and everyone who's been here, because once again, the world can be what we want it to be. The world can be what we make it. The world can be what is in our hearts and minds. So we've got to remind ourselves not to get carried away with everything happening out there. We forget about what's going on in here. Let's keep raising the frequency and the vibration. Deep divers, to everyone who's been here, I love all of you. You're most definitely appreciated. And once again, I will do a video on Donald Trump. A short video, a 10-minute video, and I'll really break it down. And so after this, watch that video I'll do after this in 10 minutes time. And I want to thank everyone who's been on this show. Millions of people are going through something epic. Listen to this show again. Be inspired, deep divers, to become your greatest version every single day. Smash that like button right now if you support the real, and share this video. Once again, smash that like button right now if you support the real, and share this video. And let's go. Faith Live, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Feels so good to be alive, baby. I love you, Ralph. I've been watching you for years. Hey, you are most definitely appreciated. I appreciate you. Right? So, once again, to everyone who's been here, you're most definitely appreciated. And 5D Abundance. Okay. Let me shout out to 5D Abundance, who's always supporting the show. 5D Abundance, gratitude. Thank you. Tons of respect and appreciation. Hey, you are most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. Much love to you, 5D Abundance. Thank you. I appreciate that. And to everyone who's been on this stream, thank you all so much. I'll be back again. I might even do another stream tomorrow, right? So be ready for that. And once again, much love to all of you deep divers. Peace, love, and harmony. One love. Peace. Also, make sure, once again, you do join the patreon.com/RalphSmart for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Once again, make sure you join the patreon.com/RalphSmart for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Deep divers, one love. Peace.